Hi everyone, this is Grandmaster Eugene Perelshteyn, and shout out to all the Chess Summit fans out there. Today I'm gonna make a big announcement. Today I'm launching my website, chessopeningsexplained.com. This website is actually based on my best-selling book with the same name, Chess Openings Explained for Black and Chess Openings Explained for White, that I co-authored with Dzindzi and Alburt. And one of the secrets behind this popularity of this book is that the openings have a lot of things in common. One of these things is called dark square strategy. So I'm gonna share with you some of the concepts from the books, but also for those of you who want to learn more about it, you're more than welcome to go check out my website, once again called chessopeningsexplained.com. So what is a dark square strategy opening? For instance, after the moves e4, c5, knight f3, we recommend the hyper accelerated dragon move order. Notice that, well, this pawn is on the dark square, right? We're also putting the bishop on g7. There's going to be a lot of pressure against the d4 square. Now, what is the similarity between, for instance, this way of developing and the English? Well, in the English, after the move c4, we can start with the move g6, or as we recommend in the book, c5. And after, for instance, white plays knight c3, we can play g6, g3, bishop g7, and once again you see the similarities. This is very important that the pressure is on the dark squares. Now you may wonder, what do you recommend against the first move d4? Of course, natural recommendation would be to play King's Indian, where you also put the bishop on g7. But unlike these two openings, the accelerated dragon and the symmetrical English, this is a little bit risky opening. Of course, you can still play it because you give up control over the whole center. Nevertheless, I actually have played King's Indian all my life, and just to share with you this position, I like this move knight a6. Again, the whole point is to apply pressure on the dark squares. The pressure against the e pawn followed by, for instance, queen c2, a5 is very thematic. So basically, when you build a repertoire, you want to have openings that have exactly the same theme. So you may wonder, well, if you don't recommend King's Indian, what else can you do on the dark squares? Well, you may be surprised, but against d4, knight f6, c4, we give the move e6. You may say, oh, this is never similar to King's Indian. This is going to be some kind of a Nimzo or Bogo. That's exactly right. Against knight f3, we recommend the Bogo Indian, and this could actually transpose to pawn structure from King's Indian, for instance, after bishop d2, queen e7, g3, knight c6, bishop g2 takes. Taken with the queen is a well-known, almost like trap, not really a good move because of knight e4 and check. Now if you play knight bd2, there's really no way white can preserve the pawn. Knight takes, loses this guy, queen takes, well, you're gonna lose the c pawn. So that's why white usually takes with the knight. And for those of you who don't believe that we can get King's Indian pawn structure from the Bogo, watch and learn. d6, e4, e5. You see anything similar? You may not see it yet. Knight b8, we're going backwards. That's right, that's the best move. And after white typically reroutes the knight, you notice the similarities. This is exactly the King's Indian structure, except there is no bishop on g7, which actually could be argued is not the greatest piece of the world, right? Because remember, it's getting stuck by the e5 pawn. So being able to understand various openings and various pawn structures is extremely beneficial for everybody. Let me show you another example. After d4, knight f6, c4, e6, let's say white plays knight c3. Now this is of course the nimzo. And the most popular move in the nimzo these days is queen c2. Since we play the bogo, we are recommending a very cute idea. Knight c6, this is actually quite a rare line. But after knight f3, you may already know what's coming. d6, we don't mind trading the bishop for the knight after a3, followed by castles, queen e7 and e5, freeing up that bishop. On top of it, if white is trying to pin us, there's a cool trick. Bishop h4 is a big mistake. g5, bishop has to go. g4 exclamation, hitting the knight, and now you realize something has gone wrong. So if white, let's say, moves knight h4, knight takes, hitting the queen, check. Looks like white's about to win a piece, yes? Well, good luck, because now we have a family fork, and this is game over. So these little tricks and more you can find in my black book, which if you are a member of the website chessopeningsexplained.com, you get to download all of my black book PGN as well as my white books. So this is really cool. In addition, you also get all the video updates and all the cool stuff. But today, I really, in addition to sharing with you all of these ideas, I really wanted to share with you how writing the book helped me as a chess player win the next game and win the opening battle. So again, going back to my game against Michael Lee, he plays the move c4. I play g6. So typically I would play c5, but this, I wasn't really worried about King's Indian. He could also play d4, of course, which would be probably King's Indian. But now we get into the English symmetrical line. He plays the move e4. Well, to my eyes, I see dark square. This is extremely important, right? I immediately sense that. Even though, you know, I can mount my knight on d4, I'm not in a hurry. I play d6, knight g2. And now I was really proud of my next move. This cunning move, bishop g4. f3 is not everybody's cup of tea. He's gonna block his bishop, potentially weaken that diagonal, so he plays h3. And now I make what some people think is a mistake. I give up the bishop pair. Aren't we taught that two bishops is better than bishop and knight? Well, not always, and I'm gonna prove to you why. Now I'm gonna get this outpost for free. Look what I'm doing next. Knight f6, knight d7. I'm not even castling, and I was really proud of my next move. Knight f8. This knight is unstoppable getting to the dark square outpost. So understanding this concept, this repertoire, is extremely important. And within the next few moves, I managed to get a dream position. I stopped any counterplay on the queen side. I castle. He can never play d4. And now he tries to get some counterplay, but really it's not going anywhere. Rook b8. He has to stop b5. I get one more square. Look at that. Knight e to d4. e6 stopping him from coming to the square on d5. And after knight h3, we can already conclude that white didn't get anything out of the opening. Black stands better. And let me just show you how I managed to increase pressure. Queen b6, knight b4, two beautiful knights, beautiful bishop, and this guy is unclear what it's really doing there. It looks like a big fat pawn. And after a series of maneuvering, now that he has committed, my queen is misplaced. I'm gonna regroup, and little by little, I'm gonna take over the initiative. Notice I'm regrouping again because now I'm eyeing the king side, and this regrouping enabled me to execute a beautiful tactic. Now I'm connecting my rook, so that's why I go queen b6 back, takes, and after my move knight e5, white is already busted. Believe it or not, he has critical position and he is already lost. Now I execute a beautiful tactic, If you want to try to find it, go ahead and pause the video. All right, and the move here is fantastic move enabled by my beautiful knight, Rook H2. Once again, the culmination of the dark square strategy. Every single piece is on the dark square, including the rook, which is offered en prise. Well, now, of course, if he takes the rook, which happened in the game, I'm gonna win the queen. He doesn't have to take the rook, you may wonder, right? But I am actually gonna force him to take the rook. King here results in another check. He has to go back. And now, beautiful idea, Rook G1, forcing him once again. Look at that dark square to try to take that rook. And he is completely lost. King H2 results in knight of 3 check, simply winning on the spot. King H3 probably is going to be checkmate. And I can simply swing my queen over, and black is having all the fun. So you see how that game resulted me in winning the queen, and eventually I managed to convert this to win. If you want to see the complete game, I've attached it to the blog post. To summarize, I want to share with you the lessons that I learned. If you have a well thought out opening repertoire, you're always going to find yourself figuring out the plans over the board. You know what the strategies are, you know where every piece goes and what you're aiming for. And this is very important, to have a repertoire against any of white's major moves. E4, D4, and C4, very coherent repertoire. And if you want to learn this stuff, you can go to my website, chessopeningsexplained.com, where you get to download all of this analysis. You're gonna watch video lessons, and if you're a member, you can also ask questions about the repertoire. So I'm excited about this. I hope you are as well, and good luck everybody to build up your repertoire to Grandmaster level. This was Grandmaster Eugene Perelshteyn for Chess Summit. Thank you.